It is another episode of Amjambo Time. Thank you for all who help us to broadcast this unique program. I want to welcome our listeners in Maine and around the world. Here are our headline stories. Maine Immigrants Right Coalition hosts their inaugural Immigration Forum. Everything from drums to philosophy, woven and out of the spoken presentations at the event.
It is about time we stopped and celebrated our wins.
Portland's 300 asylum seekers housed at Expo Center feel some relief at news that the city is teaming up with Quality Housing Coalition to kick off a home host program. We have the Quality Housing Coalition on the show. Zaidi, Biden's climate advisor, joined Governor Mills in Maine last week to celebrate the state's progress addressing climate change. We have Zaidi on the show. You will not want to miss Karasira in concert in Portland on August 20 as she launches her third album, Bakundwa, an international star. We are so happy to have her living here in Maine with us.
The power base of Karasira's music lies in her ability to connect to the hearts, souls, and minds of people. So people should expect to see something they have never seen before. It's going to be a concert that will bring music to life. You will see the Rwandan traditional dances and songs. And at the same time, there will be more and more performers as well. So the quality is assured to every stage of the concert. The reception, there'll be red carpet, there'll be photo booth where people will take beautiful photos and memories, really. So it's going to be the moment to celebrate our unity, diversity, and music in general. So we are thrilled to welcome you, and we can't wait to see you on the concert.
At Amjambo Africa, we bring new Mainers together with all Mainers. This is a collaboration between Amjambo Africa and WMPG of Southern Maine University, 90.9 FM. My name is Jaha Kuzimana, and I'm your host. Thank you for tuning in. The Maine Immigrants Right Coalition hosted the inaugural Maine Immigrants Forum on July 17th. Mofaro Chitam, executive leader of MERC, tells us the why of this forum.
Well, we have the inaugural Maine Immigration Forum, and this is a forum that we're starting. We're an annual signature event for the Maine Immigrants Right Coalition, and it's intended to celebrate, to motivate, and also to speak about the work that we do with community empowerment.
So what do we celebrate? Then what do we motivate and moving forward?
Well, our work, we find ourselves don't have enough time to sit and celebrate the work that we do as immigrants, as immigrant organizations, but also the policies that we are able to change. And so we're celebrating all the work that we've done in 2019. In 2019, right before the pandemic, we just came from supporting, over 450 asylum seekers that came in, and then COVID happened. We came together and we supported our community. We built systems that were not there, but we've never had that time to look back and celebrate that work. So today is that day also of celebrating our collaborative work since 2020.
But when you see those innovations, these ways of coming together and helping our fellow immigrants, so how do you put this in a large Maine picture?
Well, it's very hard to put it in a main large picture. It's almost like this is an opportunity to center the work so that it can be seen around. It's very difficult because, immigrants are still just a percentage of the population here. We're predominantly white population. So with that, the work that we get to do as immigrants is not seen. So it's using events like this to really, center that work. So that's how this event can help you see and center that work.
So, give me a word about integration of new Mainers in Maine.
It is a process, and it's still we don't have systems that integrate immigrants in a very systematic and methodical way. Our refugee resettlement program, it's an international program that does have a system of integration, but anyone else who comes outside that status, they're basically being supported to integrate by either a family member, somebody in the community. Most of our organizations now are in that work of helping integration, but it's still a long way. One of the things we've been asking at state level is just that, creating systems of integration.
So we are celebrating, but also we are starting to patch the loopholes.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. It's a twofold.
At the event, Bayo Akomolafe, a guest speaker at the event, reignited attendees to reimagine the trend and be ready to fall together and rise together. Take a listen.
Speaking of a politics of inclusion, we're speaking about very complex issues, societal issues, where people are left out, so to speak. They're excluded from particular ways of being in the world. They're not granted access. They're not treated fairly. You know, we're talking about the way the public, so to speak, enacts a violent misappropriation of bodies, uses them instrumentally to support itself, but doesn't really acknowledge them, doesn't really bring them in. And so a lot of what we're trying to do today, a lot of activist work, is to try to bring people in, bring people into places of power, support people to get with legislation that notices them, recognizes them. The problem with that is it is often the case that inclusion becomes inadequate, right? Yeah. Because you can include people to an extent, but if you're on the Titanic, right, including people on the Titanic, a sinking ship, becomes problematic, troubling. You need a different kind of engagement.
You are sinking together.
Exactly. It's just like saying, it's just like talking about equality. I'll give you an equal piece of a pie, right? We'll share the pie equally. Yeah. You have a pie, I have a piece of pie as well. But if we discover that the pie is carcinogenic, that means causes cancer, would you want an equal piece of a pie that causes cancer? You wouldn't want nothing. You would want nothing, right?
What should I want?
Yes. So we're talking about when our politics meets a crossroads and needs to change, right? This is not to say let's stop welcoming people. I'm just saying that we need something beyond just welcoming people, because we're in such a time where that is becoming inadequate. Only resonates in terms of your understanding of it. I think we, to a certain degree, feel it in our bodies, in our bones. There's a sense in which we are understanding this even without understanding it cognitively.
So, when I see what is being done, we want to make things equal. We want to bring someone on this committee. We want to recruit more people on this and this and this. Can we call that superficial, incomplete, nonsense? How can we call that?
No, you don't want to call that nonsense or superficial, as if there's a deeper level of representation that is needed. I'm just saying that there are times when your modality becomes part of the sickness that you're trying to cure. There is, it has to do with medical interventions. It's called iatrogenesis. And iatrogenesis is basically when the medicine becomes sick. Do you understand what I mean by that? Like, I'm trying to heal you. I open up your belly in a surgery, and I leave my gloves inside that's the medical intervention has created further problems for you. You need to do something different. So I think we're in such times. It's my reading that we're in such times where we're not to jettison or displace or say no more inclusion. No, the world isn't pure. But to say that we need something supplementary. We need something and inclusion. We need something else too, right? Because the world is in such a state that, because when we talk about inclusion, it might be helpful to say this. When we talk about inclusion, we're really speaking about supporting the way we see the world, right? modernity. We want you to have a house, we want you to have a car, we want you to have a position in the military industrial complex, we want you to be a good member and citizen of capitalism. But once those paradigms, once that world becomes sick, then we have to think about something different, right? So it's about how do we think something different? That's my question, right? So I'm trying to suggest here that while representation matters, it matters in a world that matters beyond it, right? There's other things that matters as well. And we're in such a time where we have to not just critique the lack of inclusion, but to also turn our gaze to what we're including people into, right? How do we create new systems of care? How do we think differently about our bodies and identity and agency in a world that is shifting and traveling? Those are the questions I ask.
The Democratic Republic of Congo celebrates the independence from the colonizer in June. The community from Congo in Maine, they are also celebrating the independence as their mother country. In this show, I have Maldoshe Mbongi.
Right, we are very amazed to talk about the independence of the Democratic Republic of Congo. And as far as you would remember, we then have a strong sense of celebration of this day, because it was something that we've gotten out of hard work, out of a fight, and then the success that came out of that became the legacy that we have to shine all the times. So this year, we then decided to celebrate it in various ways, because our situation is unfolding here. As you know, immigration forth, we have people that are not in housing situation, so their celebration will be somehow different than the celebration of those who are in the houses. Then we had to come out as a cookout, as barbecue, so we can eat, talk, exchange, relief from all the pain of the crisis that is now something that everybody is focused on trying to find out what solutions to bring up. So the independence has a strong sense to us, because as any independence in the world, the Congolese one is particular. It is a country in the middle of 9 countries. We share borders with those countries. And then the people from all those countries are found in Congo, and Congo have to deal with all those countries. And then within the time, Congo became what you know so far. So today, when we celebrate our independence, we also think of those who are going through the reasons why we are here for. Those who are going through the war, those who are going through the invasion, those who are going through all the sort of trouble, misunderstanding that spark into war between the people of the same country. We think of all the people who have given their lives to support that country to remain as one today. We also think of all the immigrants who are surviving to establish the state of Maine as their home state, so they can contribute to the efforts of building this state as well.
Be united for the peace and your children's welfare. An army of Africa shouldn't be an African.
The Greater Portland Council of Governments, GPCOG, the City of Portland, and the Quality Housing Coalition are coming together to introduce home host program to encourage families to host in their places asylum seekers and to share space. On the program, we have Rod Mahua, Program Director at Quality Coalition Housing. Welcome, Rod.
This partnership is very important. It is the home sharing program that's actually never been done here in Portland. So back in 2019, a home share program was launched for families at the Expo that time. Then was like for 2 months or 3 months or 6 months or so. So today we're launching a comprehensive home share program, which means that there is a lot more that will be done after housing families at the Expo. So this partnership is those three institutions that you've just listed. So Greater Portland Council of Government and the City of Portland and Quality Housing Coalition. We came together to then design this program to make sure that we assist the families that are at the Expo and beyond as well, because this program will run then for the rest of the time. Yeah.
So how are you going to do this practically with those three government? Who is providing funds? What will be given? So how you go step by step?
As I said, we came together to get this to, work out. So there will be services provided by all these different institutions. The City of Portland is in charge of all those families. Then we'll definitely make sure that those families are approached, and we'll also explain to those families what this program is about. And then we will meet those families. Quality Housing Coalition will meet those families and move forward with the whole matching system. So this is a system that we've just worked on, which it will allow us then to match families that correspond then to host home that are willing to host them. So we are targeting families of 2, families of 3, and then slowly going beyond that. But as I said, it's a database that will be generated out of this that will allow us then to match each families to each families at the Expo to each host home.
Because you are beating a deadline of August 16. So how is the pace?
That's right. So we have so far received more than 50 host families that reached out to us already about this program. We're very exciting, and thank those families for reaching out, and make a call then to other families that are still out there that have rooms and ADUs available to reach out for this program.
Governor Mills, along with the White House climate advisor Zaidi, inaugurates a goal of 100,000 heat pumps while unveiling new milestone of new pumps. Another moment to celebrate Maine's commitment to address climate change. Zaidi, Biden's White House climate advisor, joins me on the show.
Sure. My name is Ali Zaidi. I am President Biden's National Climate Advisor.
And you are visiting Maine. Can you briefly tell us why you are in the Pine State?
Well, I'm really grateful to be here for the chance to see on the ground the incredible progress Maine is making in shifting to a clean energy economy. First, I will be visiting Kennebec Valley Community College in Fairfield, where there is this incredible workforce training effort underway to help people learn how to become heat pump installers. That's the kind of heat that you can use to heat up your home using electricity as opposed to natural gas or oil or kerosene. And it creates really, I think, tremendous opportunity. 1 out of 3 heat pump installers in Maine have come through this program, and there are about 550 heat pump installers that have graduated just in the last 4 years through this program. So I'm excited to be there and meet the very diverse workforce, folks from all sorts of backgrounds that are stepping into these clean energy careers. The second place I'm going to visit is a paper mill that was shuttered years ago that has now become a manufacturing facility. It's in Madison, Maine, to make the fiber, the carbon storing wood fiber installation.
You mentioned also job creation, and I was wondering how job creation has been one way to appeal to people, to Americans, to adopt policies that add value on their being or the humankind in general. Is it selfishness or ignorance to overlook climate change facts? What's your take on that?
I think the job creation piece is a very big one. Since the president's taken office, we've created 13 million jobs. Unemployment has been at 4% for many, many months now. And we've created 800,000 jobs in manufacturing, the kind of manufacturing that Timber HP is investing in this facility in Madison, Maine. So I think there are good paying job opportunities in tackling climate change. And we're leaning into that. And I think that's what is getting people so excited about the solutions here, is that the solutions come with great job opportunities for folks.
Ali, I have here a report from the World Bank that mentions Latin America, South Asia, Sub-Saharan Africa regions that could produce millions of internal climate migrants going forward. So how climate migrants are being reflected in the White House policy planning?
Climate change really supercharges so many of the security challenges and weather-related challenges and economic challenges that we're facing around the world. It's not my opinion. It is the view of our military and national security leadership that climate change is a threat accelerant because it drives migration, because it leads to destabilization, because it leads to mass drought and famine events. So that's all the more reason. This is not to treat this not like this is an environmental issue alone. No, this is an environmental issue. It's a development issue. It's a security issue. It's a public health issue. And it's an economic issue. And for all of those reasons, we've got to work harder and harder and move faster and faster in being for the solutions. And I think Maine is a great case study in how you do that.
Yeah, the reason why I'm asking this, when you travel around Maine, you will find that diversity of immigrants, and I'm quite sure some of them, they are driven by these effects of climate change that we are mentioning.
Yep.
So I want to go back in Africa a little bit. Countries in Central Africa, that's where I come from. They have the best shot to alleviate climate change. I'm naming the Congo Basin forests. And the financial support they are promised from various COP or UN conventions, let's say Glasgow, for example. So it comes halfway. They are crying that the funds are not coming on their way to help them to navigate this framework to finance themselves so that they can stabilize, the carbon footprint. One of the reasons that is mentioned is poor governance in those countries, like a reason why they are not getting adequate fundings. And they are observing middle person or intermediaries organizations to help in that. And they are frustrated, according to some experts that I talked to. Is there a way the USA is planning to bypass the intermediaries and probably elaborate a fund that directly supports those states, since we know that they have a best shot to alleviate climate change?
That's a great question. The president has been advancing an incredibly ambitious agenda on climate finance focused on the most vulnerable populations around the world, and those in the best position to help us drive forward not only on our efforts to mitigate climate change, but also to build adaptation and resilience. He's committed to over $11 billion of climate investment internationally to help with the very topics you're talking about. And that's part of this broader push under the Paris Agreement to mobilize $100 billion in climate investment into, in particular, the global south.
But a country like Congo, Cameroon, Kinshasa, Congo, they would say we are not getting funds because sometimes they say we don't have that enough governance. But yet the climate change is moving. So I don't know how to bypass those obstacles in a substantial way that can go direct to the government with government.
Yeah, I think, we're going to have to be creative and inventive and work with our partners and allies through and with partnerships. And we have to be really unrelenting in figuring out how to support solutions around the world.
And the companies were expressing some concerns about how any repeal of the Inflation Reduction Act tax credits can have consequences on their workforce. So how much companies have to worry before embracing the clean energy concept?
This is the moment to be investing. This is the moment to be bringing products to market. This is the moment to be making them more accessible to consumers. On the road in Georgia just a few weeks ago, I visited a Home Depot where you can now buy energy efficient windows and get the tax credits that the president has secured through the Inflation Reduction Act. You can apply those same tax credits to energy efficient appliances. So this isn't hypothetical. This is solutions that are literally on the shelf right now. People can go buy them. Folks have access to $7,500 tax credit if they're buying an American-made electric vehicle. This is a big deal. It's a real game changer for families who are now in a position to save hundreds of dollars on costs that they've spent either on utility bills or at the gasoline pump. And there are absolutely folks, congressional Republicans in the House in particular, who have been trying to take away these tax incentives, to take away the rebates that will help our consumers. But the president has stayed firm. He's stayed strong on this. He has delivered an unprecedented set of incentives and supports for American consumers to build these technologies here in America, and he's going to keep fighting for that. So, the bottom line is, yes, there are some folks who want to take it away. The president is being firm in making sure they stay in place. And right now, not in the future, but right now, folks can go and be able to access these products more cheaply, more cost effectively, and help be part of the solution.
When I was sanga, azafa mukome, umugambi w'Imana.
She has been allowing us to use her songs on the show since her arrival in Maine from Rwanda. Known singer Karasira is launching her first album on August 20th.
Yeah, we're Africa. Yeah, we're Africa. Africa.
Jumbo Time is brought to you by Jaha Kuziman. Have a great day.
Africa. Tendera, 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 Africa. Tengamara, tengamara, tengamara.